So we reached the destination, the lake. Not a lot of people know about this place. I'm gonna read it right here. I think that's fitting. Don't you guys think? This is nice, right? So guys, I'm back home. Just read this thing. Let's get into what I thought about this, because this is really special. As I said, this is fresh in my mind, and when I started reading this, of course this is a one-shot, very short, not even bigger than a normal size volume. This is a short story. In the beginning I found myself unfortunately just looking for something to hit me in the feels. Like, I'm not familiar with some shoujo stuff. I knew this was supposed to hit me in the feels or something. I should be feeling something when I read this. So I found myself just waiting for that to happen, but of course in the beginning it didn't. Super stupid of me, because obviously you first have to set up some characters and set up some story before you can reach such a moment. This story is about a boy just with a very nice mom who is a mangaka. Every grown-up person in manga is always a mangaka for some reason. I guess that's the only job out there in Japan, but he's just with his mom, pretty cool. He has a nice life, but this girl, that's a whole different story. Her dad left to go fishing in Antarctica, finding some crabs, and she has to stay alone in a house, and with her little bro she has to do groceries, everything. So she's in charge of the house. It's of course pretty extraordinary situation right there. He has to go, just a little plot setup, he has to go on a soccer camp. He doesn't want to go. The coach is a dickhead. The first coach was chill, but the second one wasn't. So he stays home, and then he goes to live with her for the 3 days that that camp is going on. And that's obviously, that's where some stuff happens. It's super awesome. It's really subtle, like, you know, something's in the air. The entirety of the volume, something's in the air, and like towards the end of the volume it gets revealed. This is great, man. I would highly recommend to everyone, pick this up please. This is awesome. This is not expensive. You pick this up for, I picked this up for $10. You pick this up for $10, you got yourself a great story, something that you will remember. This is something you have to have this in collection, come on. Something like One Piece, it's obviously great, but you have to pay like a fortune to get it, I understand. But if you are into manga but you don't have a large budget, these are the stories you have to look out for, because this is great. I will do more research into one-shots like this. Other one-shots I obviously have All You Need Is Kill, which is also for the same price, full story. I see these one-shots every time I show off One Piece, for example, or another manga. People like to pick that up, but I know not for every person it's normal to have a manga all over 99 volumes. That's not normal. It isn't normal. It's only normal if you are obsessed with this stuff. But if you aren't, that isn't a requirement to enjoy manga. You just have a lot of great stories you can pick up, even with, back in the day when I only had allowance. This would have still been a possibility for me. I don't know if I would have liked it then necessarily, because it's a bit more, this is for adults, I would say. Adults, you can understand this if you are 16 years old, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't have read this if I was 12. I'm a bit of a shonen, and then it was even worse. So I would recommend this to almost everyone. Pick this up please, this is super great stuff. The artwork is simplistic, it isn't something to write home about, it isn't the greatest artwork I've ever seen, but it has some nice panels, it has, oh wait, I'll show something up, I'm looking myself. Here you see this is a bit of an emotional moment. Clearly good, not something really spectacular, but very good. So conclusion, please pick this up, this was great. The atmosphere that I was reading in just tenfolded this story, because it was a great experience reading this. Pick this up, this is awesome. And that was the video for today, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.